Gaslighting is a tactic that's often used by narcissists. The term stems from the original 1938 movie called Gaslight, and the story is about a couple living together in a house that the wife inherited from a wealthy relative. The house is lit with gas lights, which were popular in that era. And as the movie goes, the wife notices that the gas lights throughout the house get dim and start flickering at certain times of the day. And like anybody, she wants to understand why. She also notices that some of her things are missing, and sometimes, like something will appear in her handbag that she didn't put there. And when she asks her husband about it, which any person would do, he tells her that she's imagining the lights flickering, or that she put the paper in her handbag herself and just didn't remember. He shames her for having a drink or two in the evenings and tries to convince her that her drinking is the issue. He convinces her that she can't trust her own memory and that she's kind of losing it. But in the end, we discover that it's the husband who's been moving things around, putting things in her purse and then taking them out again. And he's also the one responsible for the flickering gas lights throughout the house. He was behind all the things that she noticed and lying about it because he was trying to find a literal stash of family jewels that were allegedly hidden somewhere in the house that his wife inherited from this wealthy relative. And what saves the wife from this gaslighting abuse is external validation from a friend. Her friend saw the flickering lights from outside the house and simply let her know that she could see them too. Validation is a powerful tool for the victim of gaslighting to finally realize that they aren't crazy and they aren't losing their mind. I'm Jennifer Whitaker, trauma specialist. Welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe, especially if you're on YouTube. Be sure to hit that bell so you don't miss any future videos. So let's go on. What is gaslighting? Gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse that makes the gaslightee, or the victim of the gaslighting, question their thoughts, feelings, judgments, perceptions, and/or memories. The goal of gaslighting is to create doubt, to undermine self-confidence, to cause the victim to doubt their sense of reality and to doubt their own sanity. It's a highly effective tactic because it often causes the victim to back down, to withdraw a complaint, sometimes a formal complaint to the authorities, or to assume full responsibility for all the conflicts and all the problems in the relationship. Gaslighting is quite effective at suppressing resistance. And the person being gaslit, or the victim, often will question and start to wonder, am I really the problem? Are they right? Is everything my fault? Now, more recently, the term gaslighting has become pretty popular, a buzzword, and with all buzzwords, the terms aren't always used correctly because someone will see the definition and then apply it to everything around them. It's incorrect to use the term to refer to any old type of manipulative or deceptive behavior because gaslighting is a very specific kind of deceptive behavior. It is not a disagreement, and this is super important for people to understand. And I've made this mistake in the past myself, several years ago when I first heard the term, and this is common for people who are new to the term to apply disagreements, or to apply the term to disagreements. So, for example, it's common for two people to remember the same event differently because they're two different people. So if one person says, that's not how I remember the situation, that doesn't mean that person is gaslighting me. It's a disagreement about what happened, and disagreements are not gaslights. Having different perceptions is also not a gaslight, or different reactions. So I could say that I was really hurt and upset by what happened, but she didn't think it was a big deal. Therefore, she must be gaslighting me. No, that is not a gaslight. Again, this is a disagreement. It's a disagreement of perception or a disagreement of feelings, but disagreements aren't gaslights. Have a bigger conversation around it. Gaslighting is so much more insidious than that. So what gaslighting is an effective tool for individuals. And like I said earlier, it's a tool or a tactic that narcissists often use. So it's an effective tool for narcissists or individuals who have a need to be in power and control, who have a need to be right all the time, who have a need to redirect blame onto someone else, who have a need to revise the details of history or things that happened in their own favor. Gaslighting is an effective tool for individuals who have a need to make the outside world match their internal world, whatever perception that is. And for individuals who need to control another's perspective because they can't tolerate differences and disagreements. And narcissists are notorious for this tactic. For a narcissist, the idea of doing something wrong and being a bad person are one and the same. They can't handle criticism. They can't accept responsibility for their actions. They can't take on any guilt or blame or fault for what happened. And they certainly cannot accept consequences for their own actions. The term energy vampire actually refers to narcissism, and that's because narcissistic supply is one directional. It's a one-way street. The victim provides the narcissist with a continuous stream of emotional energy, and the narcissist uses this emotional energy to bolster their own self-concept while degrading and eroding away at their victim's self-concept. Gaslighting is a tactic that's used to transfer energy and power from victim to narcissist. And supply sources for the narcissist include things like attention, validation, reward or recognition, admiration, gratification, sympathy, gossip, slander, character assault, or character assassination. And this last one seems a little out of touch, but the last one of the gossip and slander and character assault is a way that the narcissist or the energy vampire will garner support from others, and sometimes those supportive others become the narcissist's flying monkeys. Now, flying monkeys is a topic for a whole different video down the road. Back to gaslighting. Victims of gaslighting abuse often experience an erosion of their self-confidence and self-trust, and often to the point that they no longer believe their own eyes and ears. They lose trust in what they experience with their own senses. They perceive that they're always overreacting, and it no longer occurs to a victim of gaslighting that they actually have a right to feel and react the way that they feel and react. Victims of gaslighting often accept, without question, the gaslighter's version of reality at the expense of their own version of reality. And that is a slow degradation over time that gets to that point. And victims of gaslighting abuse can also chronically question their own sanity. So this tactic of abuse empowers the gaslighter, but it disempowers the victim. The victim's reaction becomes the problem that needs to be fixed, which effectively diverts attention away from the gaslighter's behavior. So in other words, it's kind of like a nose being lectured by a fart. The nose is not the problem. If you or someone you know has experienced gaslighting abuse, I encourage you to seek help from a practitioner who is trained to work with narcissistic abuse, coercive control, and other forms of deceptive persuasion and influence. Not all therapists and practitioners are trauma-informed. If you have experienced gaslighting, definitely find somebody who's trauma-informed. And this is one area where external validation is necessary for the victim to heal. It's necessary for the victim to learn to trust their sense of reality, to rely on their own memory, and to cease the constant internal questioning of everything they think, feel, and believe. I hope you have found this information helpful. Please, if you know somebody who has been gaslit, Pass this information on to them if they can find it helpful. Like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next time, everyone. Happy self-discovery.